27th May 2020, a 22-year-old girl called Uela Vera Omozua was raped and killed at a church in Edo State. On that same day, another 18-year-old girl called Barakat Bello was gang-raped and murdered in Ibadan. Still on that very day, 27th May 2020, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps arrested a man accused of raping a 3-month-old baby in Nasarawa State. On 11 June, the Kano State Police Command disclosed that they had arrested a man who allegedly raped over 40 women. Moreover, the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, said that the Nigerian police recorded 717 rape cases in just 5 months, that is January to May. This rampant violence against women has led to several calls by NGOs, civil societies for rape. However, the Kano state government just started the process of amending the old punishment of 14 years jail term with castration. With me today to discuss rape, the possibility of promulgating death penalty or any other severe punishment to rapists is Mr. Zubairu Bambale, a doctoral student, a researcher in the field of philosophy of law and ethics, and a lecturer in the Department of Philosophy, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Mr. Bambale, you are welcome to the program In Our World. Mr. Bambale, what do you think are the causes of rampant rape today in our society?
Well, Malam Yusuf, I think there are so many ways with which to look at this issue of the causes of rape in our societies today. Now, if you talk out from the perspective of different disciplines such as criminology, sociology, sociobiology, and all that, you know that you are likely to arrive at different conclusions as to the causes of rape. But then I feel from the perspective of ethics, there is what we can call the general decadence of moral judgments in our society. You see that now people do not seem to be conscious of the basic fundamental moral principle with which we can use to guide our actions. Simple Aristotelian, or rather the Kantian categorical imperative, which I am sure we can find in our religious scriptures, which is saying that do unto others what you will want others to do to you. Do not do anything that is likely to cause harm to others. Now, I think from an ethical point of view, this is what is lacking in our society today, and this is what usually causes rape.
Presently, many people were proposing death penalty to rapists. Do you share the same idea?
Yes, I believe people have been clamoring and are still clamoring that the death penalty should be used as a punishment for rape. Whether or not I believe that is right is entirely a different thing. I know for a fact that there are ample laws under the Nigerian criminal justice system that punish law. For example, in Kaduna State, the penal code that was promulgated in, I think, 2017 had fixed the life imprisonment as punishment for rape. I however agree that this penalty should be one of the punishments that a rapist gets in the event that his action of rape results in the death of his victim.
Let us assume the Nigerian government decided to implement death penalty to rapists. Do you think it will stop and deter rape?
Well, the issue of deterrence, it's a highly complicated and debated field in philosophy and the social sciences generally. Now, let's take the issue of deterrence regarding murder. For centuries, and then since the ancient time, the issue of whether or not the death penalty deters murder has been a major subject matter of debate among academic fields of studies, among philosophers, among the social sciences and all that. Now, till date, we cannot lay our hands on one on a document that shows that there is a consensus among philosophers, among even the social scientists, social science researchers, that the death penalty actually deters murder. While some scholars think that the death penalty actually deters murder, some don't think as such. Now, the issue of deterrence also, if applied to the issue of the crime of rape, may likely lead to another crop of debate regarding whether or not it will actually deter rapists. Now, I personally believe, based on common sense, that the death penalty is arguably the severest form of punishment that there is, and in anywhere in the world, people actually are afraid to die. Now, this is just common sense that when there is something that is most feared, then people as rational beings tends to be skeptical, or tends to be very careful in actually doing what will what will lead them to die. Now, this is something that is going to be speculative, but I do not think death penalty it's going to have an entirely different, entirely deterrent effect on rapists. It may deter some people, of course. That is the argument of people regarding the death penalty. That yes, we only know that we only know who the death penalty has not deterred, but we don't know who it has deterred. There are people who may feel that they will not indulge in rape because the death penalty is what is lying in wait for them when they do commit punishment, the act of rape. But then, what we should also understand is the issue of rape, just like the issue of murder, are situational. Some people do not seem to be even in their mental capacity, possessing their mental capacity at the time they are committing such wrongs. So the issue of, say, whether or not the death penalty is going to serve as a deterrent to the rapist, yes, some people will be deterred, but definitely not everyone will be deterred by the death penalty.
If you didn't support death penalty to rapists, as a researcher in the field of philosophy of law and ethics, which punishment will you propose which you think will deter rape?
As a student of moral philosophy, again, I am more concerned with why punishments generally are inflicted. If you inflict punishment because you think it will deter the people, you think it will deter people now, and then in the end you found out that people still commit that wrong. Now, to what extent can we say now that punishing people is justified? Now, this is just one of the arguments about deterrence. For example, we can say now that despite the old age tradition of the death penalty, which we can trace to antiquity, to the ancient time. We can see the evidence in the trial of Socrates, now centuries before even Christ, how he was sentenced to death and all that. But to late, can we now say that murder are still wrongs are still not being committed that attract the death penalty? That is certainly not the case. Now, if you say you are actually punishing somebody on the basis of desert, which is retribution, now these based on this principle of what we call eye for eye, tooth for tooth, and tooth for tooth, and injury equal thereto. And then how can you even begin to quantify the rightful, the right amount of punishment that a rapist should actually get? Now, I think, again, like the statement I have made already, that our criminal law books have made so many reservations for punishments for rapists. For example, like I said, in Kaduna State, the law regarding the penal code prescribes life imprisonment for those who are found guilty of rape. So, in my opinion, we have ample laws regarding the punishment of rape. What we don't have is the culture of morality, of thinking not just for ourselves but for others, of knowing that rape is an evil that no one deserves. So I think what, in my opinion, we may not need to say that we need death penalty, we need this, we need that, because in the event that we even inculcate moral habits in our minds, we may not need to even begin to talk about a punishment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zubairu Bambale, a lecturer in the Department of Philosophy, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, for giving us your time. Thank you, viewers, for your time. I remain yours, Yusuf Musa, from Concorsia Reporters TV.